Hello there, my friends. Welcome to the Star Wars Vault. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for new Star Wars content every week. Alright everyone, the time has come. The final episode of Ahsoka dropped on Disney Plus Tuesday night as we close this 1.5 month journey. Once I saw the 48-minute timestamp on episode 8, I knew right away this story is building toward Dave Filoni's upcoming movie, possibly Ahsoka Season 2, or even both. There's just too much going on not to think that they have major plans to follow this up. Getting started with this review, Episode 8, titled The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord, begins with Morgan Elsbeth convening with Grand Admiral Thrawn. This episode title is quite interesting to me. It almost seems like it's an intentional play on a very popular book/movie, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, one of my favorite movies growing up as a youngling. Kicking off this Ahsoka finale, Thrawn sends 2 TIE fighters out to deal with Ahsoka and her friends. Thrawn warns Morgan that the Jedi are not to be underestimated, as the Empire and he himself have fallen victim at the hands of a Jedi. The Night Sister Great Mothers ask Morgan to come forward to reward her with what they call the Gift of Shadows. In turn, they request her to abandon her old life and to give her life to the Sisterhood. She is then branded on her face, and the Great Mothers conjure up a green magic, which then reveals to be the Blade of Talzin, a mystic-looking weapon with green flames, the blade referring to Mother Talzin, who has appeared several times in the Clone Wars series. The Great Mothers award this sword to the changed Morgan Elsbeth, seemingly as a last line of defense against their rebel adversaries. Speaking of their enemies, we head over to Ahsoka's ship where Ezra is trying to build a lightsaber. Huyang tells the young Jedi to slow down as it's not supposed to be a fast process. Sabine stands nearby and mentions Kanan Jarrus, Ezra's master. Huyang notes he taught Kanan as a child in the Jedi Temple and gives Ezra a lightsaber hilt piece that he kept from Kanan, who had a spare. Huyang states it's fitting for Ezra to take his master's lightsaber spare piece, who does and ignites a new blue lightsaber. Sabine walks away and Huyang catches Ezra up on Ahsoka and Sabine's falling out as master and apprentice. Ahsoka is outside where Sabine meets her as they discuss Sabine's choice to give Baylan the map in Part 4. Ahsoka is not mad, noting Ezra may never have been found if she didn't do what she did. She then tells Sabine how her master was always the only one who understood her. Sabine asks, "You mean Anakin?" Ahsoka says, "Yes, Anakin always stood by me, and whatever happens next, I will be by your side." Before the two can continue smiling toward their new building relationship, the 2 TIE fighters start to advance toward their ship. Sabine maneuvers the craft and wipes out the TIE fighters, however it damages the ship even worse than it was before. Captain Enoch reports the collision to Thrawn, who then orders a ground assault. Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine ride on some howlers while Huyang and the Nodi stay back to fix the ship. Morgan tells Thrawn a volunteer group of night troopers are ready to fight for him. Thrawn emphasizes for the Empire. The Jedi are being targeted by lasers shooting out of the Chimera as they use the Force to avoid death, as well as holding the front gate so they can slip into their enemy's territory. The 3 heroes are cut off by the night troopers, who get absolutely smoked by their lightsabers. Lots of good action here. Next, the Great Mothers use their witch magic to raise the dead, and now the night troopers resemble zombies, chasing the 3 slowly yet surely. Even with their lightsaber strikes, the troopers keep coming as they're unable to die. Luckily, the trio are able to seal the doors and block the zombie troopers out. Thrawn grows more tiresome of the Jedi efforts and requests Morgan Elsbeth to buy more time. This essentially means she is knowingly giving her life for the ship's escape. As Thrawn and the Great Mothers walk away, Morgan whispers to herself, "For Dathomir." She heads down to confront the lightsaber wielders, and Ahsoka tells both Ezra and Sabine to go ahead and stop Thrawn while she deals with Elsbeth. Sabine and Ezra run toward the Chimera ship but are halted by 2 more zombie troopers. As the struggle continues, Sabine is pinned against a stone wall by 1 trooper after dropping her saber. She sees it and reaches out for it, once again trying to use the Force. And after a bit of a struggle, she successfully pulls her weapon to her and dispatches her opponent. The first time we see her use the Force in order to save her life. Her and Ezra take care of the other troop, but realize they're too late to get back on the ship. However, Sabine tells Ezra to jump as she plans to provide a push. After some hesitation, Ezra goes for the jump and he gets an assist from his friend and barely clings to the ship. They take out the 2 troopers who were watching guard, and Sabine shows her powers in the Force for a second time, but now she realizes Ahsoka is still battling Morgan along with several undead troopers. With the added pressure of the numbers game, Morgan breaks one of Ahsoka's lightsabers, leaving her more vulnerable. Then, Sabine comes to help as she chooses not to make the jump to join Ezra. This, I'm guessing, is because of the loyalty and faith that Ahsoka showed to Sabine earlier in this episode. Together, they take out the enemies, and Ahsoka uses both her lightsaber and the Blade of Talzin to slay Morgan Elsbeth once and for all. Immediately, one of the Great Mother Night Sisters senses it and tells Thrawn, Morgan is dead. He replies, she has done what was required. Thrawn then orders to fire the castle Ahsoka and Sabine are on, who both leap off onto Ahsoka's ship as Huyang makes the perfectly timed save. They try to catch up to the Eye of Sion, but once they come close, Thrawn draws a transmission to Ahsoka. He cites how he knew Anakin and played against her strategies, knowing she'd be just like him. He taunts her saying, "Long live the Empire," as he shoots off into hyperspace and damages Ahsoka's ship. Huyang, Ahsoka, and Sabine return to the planet and stay with the Nodi as they are left stranded in this galaxy. Next, we see Shin Hati pull up to the bandits who were fighting with her in the last episode as she ignites and raises her lightsaber. Then we transition to Baylan Skoll, who is overlooking the land. He is standing on a huge statue of one of the Mortis gods, the Father, who represents balance in the Force. We also see a statue of the Son, who is the personification of the dark side of the Force, and the daughter, who embodies the light side of the Force, seems to have her statue shattered and broken. Curious, for sure. Flipping over to our home galaxy, the Eye of Sion appears to have arrived at Dathomir, the planet home of the Night Sisters as well as Zabraks such as Maul. And as an Imperial shuttle approaches the New Republic, out comes a stormtrooper. Ezra reveals himself when he takes off the helmet, completely shocking Hera, who reunites with her former crew member on the Ghost ship. As we go back to the other galaxy, Ahsoka praises Sabine for getting Ezra back home, stating he is where he's supposed to be, and so are we. As they smile at each other, Sabine feels touched by a presence. Ahsoka takes notice and asks her what it is, but Sabine blows it off since she can't explain what she just felt. Ahsoka turns around and looks with a smile and walks back to Sabine, as we are greeted with the Chosen One himself, Master Anakin. Yes, we get to see this show close out with the Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker looking on his old Padawan in this far-out galaxy. What a ride this has been. 8 episodes completed for the first season of Ahsoka. I'm very pleased with how this series turned out. When it comes to the finale, I really liked a lot of what we saw. I did think the Sabine Force push was a little much, but I don't have a problem with her finally getting some control over the Force and using it in a dire situation. I mean, we did see her try and fail all season, so at least it was built up to this moment. The action sequences were entertaining, the rematch duel with Morgan and Ahsoka was very fun. I do wish we got more with Shin and Baylan, but maybe they got more planned with these two in the future. I sure hope so. Thrawn was very calculated in this show, and it was awesome to see both him and Ezra in live action, finally. And of course, how could we not love seeing Hayden as Anakin one more time, especially at the end of the show in his blue Force Ghost glow. So much to take away from all this new content, but I'm excited to make tons of videos going more in depth on everything we saw in Ahsoka. My next video in a couple days will be a full review of the Ahsoka show and trying to bring all the episodes together. As for this episode, I will give it a rating of 8.5 out of 10. But now I want to know what you all think. Were you shocked Ahsoka and Ezra got stranded in this galaxy? What do you think of the undead Night Troopers? Do you believe we will see more of the Mortis gods in future projects for Star Wars coming up? Whatever your opinions are, make sure to comment them down below. Also, don't forget to force push the like button if you enjoyed today's video. I greatly appreciate it. You can follow my social media by clicking the links in the description. That's going to do it for now, everyone. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the full season review. So until then, my friends, may the Force be with you.